So, it's only a matter of days now until Star Wars Jedi Survivor is released upon the gaming world, but it has been 3.5 years since the release of Jedi Fallen Order, so naturally you may have forgotten some of the important details of that game, so here's a quick recap of all the events that happened in just a few short minutes, which should hopefully get you set up perfectly for the events of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So, Jedi Fallen Order told us the story of Cal Kestis, who was somehow a survivor of Order 66, and at the time of the Purge, Cal was just a young Padawan, so he did get rather lucky. And in the 5 years that have passed since Order 66, Cal had been doing his best to lie low and stay out of trouble, which of course seems like a wise idea. So, at the start of the game, we join Cal as he's working as a scrapper on the planet Bacca, and whilst he's there working on a derelict ship, an accident occurs and Cal is forced to use the Force, no pun intended, in order to save his friend. This, however, gets the attention of the Inquisitors, and from there starts Cal's next adventure. So from there, Cal forms an unlikely alliance with the crew of the Mantis, which at this point is comprised of a former Jedi Sere and pilot Grease, who we all love. Cal is then taken by Sere and Grease to the planet Bogano, where he meets the much-loved droid companion BD-1, and from there he's then tasked with opening the vault built by the ancient Zepho race. And once inside the vault, he learns of the plan of Sere's former master, Eno Cordova. As it turns out, Cordova held onto a list of Force-sensitive children which Sere believes could be used to restore the Jedi Order. However, this means that Cal and the rest of the crew need to retrace Cordova's steps as he studied the Zepho and their influence on the galaxy, in order to obtain the holocron containing this list. So, first of all, Cal heads to Kashyyyk, a Wookiee planet, where he stumbles upon Saw Gerrera fighting back against the Imperial threat, and he decides to help him out. And once that's done and they start exploring Kashyyyk, Cal then hits a dead end in his search, and then he heads off to Zepho, where he is faced by the Second Sister, who is the main antagonist of Jedi Fallen Order. During this, Second Sister reveals to Cal that before she became an Inquisitor, she was the apprentice to none other than Sere, who is of course Cal's new friend. Anyway, shortly after that, Cal returns to Kashyyyk, where he ends up meeting Tarful, who is a Wookiee chieftain and a general. Cal is then sent to climb the origin tree, and when he finally makes his way to the top, he figures out that the next step on his journey will be on Dathomir, which is the homeworld of the Night Sisters. So, Cal and the Mantis crew travel there, and when they arrive there, he is met by Merrin, who is one of the last of a kind, and Merrin is not happy. She blames the Jedi Order for the massacre of her people during the Clone Wars, so you can see why she's not happy. So from there, Cal sets out to explore Dathomir, and as he is doing so, he comes across Taron Malicos, who happens to be a fallen Jedi who crashed on Dathomir and has seemingly succumbed to the dark side of the Force. Malicos also tries to persuade Cal to come to the dark side of the Force as well, and obviously Cal isn't a fan of this, and the two of them have a fight, with Cal being the eventual winner, with a little bit of help from Merrin along the way. Overall, Cal's trip to Dathomir was successful, and it has now allowed him to fully open the vault on Bogano, and not only that, but Merrin now joins the crew of the Mantis as well. Cal is then able to recover the holocron from the vault on Bogano. Happy days. Well, not just yet. The holocron is quickly stolen by Trilla, aka the Second Sister, and she manages to escape to the Fortress Inquisitors, which is hardly ideal for the crew of the Mantis. So this means that Cal and the Mantis crew are then forced to travel to the fortress, and once there, Cal and Trilla have a fight, and after Cal defeats Trilla in a duel, he attempts to guide her towards redemption, but just as that seems like it could be a possibility, none other than Darth Vader appears out of nowhere and he strikes her down. Of course, Cal is no match for Darth Vader whatsoever, so he does a simple thing and runs away, and he is barely able to escape with his life after a little help from Sere. And with that, the Mantis crew manage to escape the Empire, at least for now anyway, with the holocron in their possession, so they're currently sat deciding what to do with it. But Cal has learned over his journey that the holocron is too dangerous, so he decides to destroy it and protect the Force-sensitive beings on the list, and also to prevent it falling into the hands of the Empire, which seems like a sensible decision. And that, folks, is where Cal's journey ended in the events of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I hope you found this recap useful, and I hope you're as excited for Star Wars Jedi Survivor as I am. And if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could take a few seconds to support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.